Welcome to Let's Talk Books, Unscripted, episode 10.
Okay, I'll take a drink this time. That's what you seem to normally do.
That's good. So this is a husband and wife who love to read. We talk books, all things books. This is episode 10. What are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking a West Coast style double IPA.
Ooh, double IPA.
If you care about beer in addition to books. Yeah, we like to try to find stuff we haven't had before, but we tend to have a hard time with that. I don't know, like we need more places that have like a variety. Because we have tried quite a few things, but yeah, we like craft beer. That's what we're having tonight. Yeah, you can see our little, maybe you can see our things on here.
We have a mascot today. It's a little gnome.
We have these things in place of books. As you can see, we're actually not, I don't have like a giant lap full of books. This says the book nook. I stole it out of my book nook upstairs that I'm still planning to do some kind of reveal of. So we'll post that on
We're very close
all the
to
social
being
media
complete.
Platforms. So we'll have to make a video on YouTube for that too.
So no books. We're not holding any books. If you watched our previous episode, you know I kind of mentioned that this episode would be our talk about just why we like to buy books.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go through that. It's going to kind of maybe be a longer topic. So we're going to go through some of the points relating to why we like to buy books.
Yeah, because I think Corey touched on it in a previous episode, but like we get quite a few comments on Instagram, like, which is fine. Like we take everything with a grain of salt and it's fine. People have their preferences, people have their opinions, but it's just funny that we're very clearly making videos about buying books and having an excuse to buy books. And we like to have our own library here, and yet we still get so many comments on like, well, why don't you just go to the library? Like if you have this storage issue for your books or whatever it is, it's like, go to the library. And like, that's great. We love the library for sure. I'm a huge supporter of the library and I take my kids there a lot and we love it. But it's just, yeah, we kind of want to clear up, I guess, like why we don't just go to the library all the time.
Yeah.
Or like, that's not where we get our books primarily.
For sure. I mean, our library is an amazing resource. Our local library is actually under construction right now. They're renovating it, and it's going to be amazing
to see the
when
final,
it's done. Like the library is such a great resource, and we use the library. People think we don't.
More than one, because we have a lot in our area.
Yeah, we kind of have like what's it called, like a district of libraries, or
right. So like my library card allows me to check out books at like 4 different locations, maybe. That seems right. Like 4 different locations is awesome. You can use it at any of them. You can return the books to like any of them because they're in the same branch. So that just gives us options, which is awesome too. While our city's library is, like Corey said, under construction right now. So they've been in like a couple temporary locations. So yeah, we're really excited to see like what it looks like when it's finally ready to go.
The city where I work, they have a really amazing library. Nice it's in like a very historic building, and they have like an outdoor area. It's really great. And there's so many great just activities, and they have like magicians come through or readings.
It's not just for getting books, like they obviously offer a lot of
we love the library.
So we just want to make sure we say that because we do use the library. It's just not our primary way of like consuming books.
Yeah,
I'll say it like that.
One of the big reasons is you have to return the books. I mean,
darn.
Like when you go to the library,
you have to give them
you
back.
can't keep them.
They're not yours.
It's great to read a book, but then you can't keep them. We love to keep our books. So I have a question for everyone, and I want you to comment below what your answer is. What do you collect? I know everybody seems to collect something.
It's not books.
Yeah, maybe it's Pokemon cards, maybe it's clothes.
Shoes. I know a lot of people like shoes.
Like when I was a kid, I used to collect like soda bottles, and I had them like lined up in my room.
Mugs are another popular.
So it seems like everybody collects something. And I think it's obvious Katie and I, we collect books. Like books are something that we collect.
And yes, we read them too.
read them.
We've had some comments on. Sorry, I'm feeling salty tonight. But we've had people on Instagram also, or maybe just one person,
a few different
maybe
ones.
a couple, call us out and be like, well, and I think wrongfully call us out because it's like, you don't live here, you don't know, like we read our books, what are you talking about? So sometimes I like to get defensive, which I don't. I'm not about that on social media. I just, I just ignore her comment essentially. But it's just like, oh, like we did one where he was reading, like actually, like I found him like reading in the closet. That was one of our very first reels, and I reshared it recently. She's like, oh, I see we're reading today, not buying, or some kind of snarky comment like that. And like we try not to take personal offense to it. I was just like, yes, we do read our books. We don't just buy them and collect them.
And that's why we started this. We started this series on YouTube. We had another comment today that was funny. Someone just wondering why we don't like sell some books back to the bookstore to buy more books. And that's besides the point as well.
It's like we're not really looking to get rid of our books.
We're trying to accumulate books. Yes, we may have a storage issue. But that's not the problem,
And no, and I do donate books every once in a while. Yeah, there are like times where I will go through and be like, all right, what are the chances I'm going to ever read this? If it's been on my shelf for a certain amount of time, I'm just like, I feel like this one needs to move on because I'm like, somebody else should enjoy it. It shouldn't be sitting on my shelf if I really don't think I'm going to get to it. That's just, that's not fair for the book. It's not fair for me. That's not fair for somebody else who could be enjoying it. And I love the amount of little free libraries in our area. So another library plug. Little free libraries are amazing.
We can walk to about 5 different ones.
Yeah, we have a lot. So it's nice to be able to add to those, and I do take from those sometimes. So I even use that as a resource. But yeah, I don't really decrease our collection all that often because again, we just like to have them.
Yeah. So please comment below what you collect. I'd love to hear what you collect. Obviously, we collect books. And that's really it. I don't think we collect anything else.
Oh, yeah, for us.
In terms of a collection, I mean, that's what we collect. I mean, I have a feeling that someone who likes to go to the library and get their books, they most likely probably collect something different.
It's not books.
They're going to put their time and resources and space towards something else. And like most collections, they will maybe sit on a shelf or they'll be in a box. And we feel like books
they display really nicely.
They look great on the shelf.
Part of your decor,
look at a background there.
In my opinion.
Sure, they collect dust, but they're also a thing you can collect that you utilize. Like we read them.
We read them. We don't read them immediately sometimes when we get new books. I will say that.
But that's fine.
And that's okay. I feel like I've read, maybe some of you have seen this too, there's like a fun quote out there that says something like, but I'm probably saying it wrong, but you'll get the gist. That books are like a fine wine. It's like sometimes it's like you're waiting for, there's like a right time and a right place for a certain book. Yeah. So like, yes, there will be books I'm really excited to buy and I want them. And maybe I'm in the middle of a couple of different books, so I don't immediately put those down to read the new one, but it's just like I do get to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, they're nice to have around. We did a reel, which I think we've shared on here before, where he has like a stack of books next to him in bed, and he was just like, I just like to have them near me.
We're snuggling.
It's just, I don't know, there's a thing for it.
Yeah, and what's also nice about collecting books and having books is that we are kind of our go-to people in our area, where if someone needs to borrow a book, we're almost a library to them. Chances are, if they want a newer book or
they don't want to wait from the actual library, like, oh my gosh, I don't know if my sister-in-law even watches these videos, so I can call her out. Or I'll tell her to watch this video.
You can call her out.
But she cracks me up because, like, what was the book? Oh, it was Iron Flame, the second one in the Empyrean series, if you've read those.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, so Fourth Wing, Iron Flame. She was like, Katie, guess what number I am, like, at the library for this book or whatever, like, to get it, like, in the holds, like, list or whatever. And I threw out some random number, and I was even way off. It was just, like, absolutely insane how long she was going to have to wait to get this book from the library. And I was like, just buy it. And I was, like, trying to, like, pressure her to buy it, and I'm like, sorry, I'm a bad influence, I know, but like, I'm like, but if you really want to read this book that badly, I'm like, just go buy it. she like wouldn't. She legit was just like, no, you know, I'm not gonna buy it. So I bought it for her for Christmas.
Yeah.
But like
books are a great gift too.
Yeah. So she borrows from me quite a bit because it's like she definitely she's a library user 100%. But yeah, there are times when she's like, oh, I'll be on the holds list for a really long time for this one. Katie might have it, you know, or it's just a book she's seen me talk about on social media. And it's nice to be able to do that, you know, for close friends and family.
Yeah. So we kind of act as our local friend library to people. We lend out books to them. Obviously, we're very protective of them. We'll keep track, we'll write them down, and we'll give them a certain amount of time.
I have 2 personalized stamps also. Maybe you can get them closer.
You have to stamp your book so they know
yeah, so
that
I do that it came from my library.
Maybe you can see that. That's better.
So that's kind of fun that I do like try to make sure I have my stamp on the inside of a book before I lend it out to someone.
Yeah, we made her sister-in-law return 2 books today because we needed them back. They were overdue.
She had read one and just hadn't given back to me yet. And then she had one that she just didn't
We're going to start charging late fees.
Yeah.
Our library actually stopped charging late fees. I don't know if yours still does. Let us know if you do.
Like, do they do late fees?
Ours stopped doing it, which I thought was kind of interesting because you can just hold on to them forever, I guess.
It's like, what if, you know, somebody wants to read that book? Get it back to the library.
Yeah, so book collecting is a real thing. We read that considered to have a home library,
a legit library,
you need to have 1,000 books. And we're not quite there yet with our kind of personal books.
Adult.
But if you include our children's books, we have a lot of children's books.
Close.
We're probably close to 1,000.
If I have the patience one of these days, I might go and count them all because I'm kind of curious.
I'm sure people.
And then I could report back to you.
I have a feeling some people probably have,
including children's books, which that still counts. Yeah. They're books.
If you have a count of your books, let us know. I'm sure people have a count. Maybe we should have a count.
I know, we should almost have a count,
just so we don't lose track of any books. But 1,000 books is considered one kind of a home library, which I thought was interesting. So that's definitely a goal for us for our personal books. I mean, for our books, we maybe have half that, so we got some work to do.
Yeah, we may not even have half that actually.
We have,
but I don't know. I just always so my favorite Disney princess for a really long time has been Ariel, actually. But I feel like Belle has like sort of taken over since I've become really, really book obsessed, or she's still like a close second because I feel like my heart is always like with the Little Mermaid. But I also love singing, by the way. So I think it's like I get the singing with Ariel and the book, you know, the book side of things with Belle. But
Belle sings too,
she does. Well, all the Disney princesses sing.
You're right. So does Gaston.
But the whole like voice thing and stuff, it's like she's all known for her like beautiful voice in the Little Mermaid. Anyway, I digress. You should also share your favorite Disney princess if you have one. Since we're like getting off topic here, but no, the scene where she like is on the ladder and like you know scrolling this giant beautiful library, that's my dream. It's not gonna happen in this house, so I don't know, but I mean, we'd have to like bust out a wall somewhere and have an addition on this house in order to make that happen. But
we're doing our best.
We're being creative.
What we got.
Like we're working with what we've got.
We live in an old house, so there's not a lot of huge walls to work with.
Yeah, there's just not like massive wall space. It's like broken up.
We did a reel yesterday, kind of me creatively finding ways to store the books in the kitchen because it was kind of just you always need more room for books. If you stack them on the floor or wherever you gotta.
He at once told me I think if you can make it look tasteful, I don't care if there's like random like stacks of books places, which we really haven't had to resort to because we did actually just get some new shelving. So like we have what's behind us now is the new shelving.
We
moved the other ones to upstairs in the little book nook that we will reveal soon enough. So we actually aren't completely maxed out like Corey acted like in our reel, but you know, all of our reels are a joke. Anyway, aside from the book love, that's very, very real, but you know, just the way
can't deny the book love.
The book love.
We're lovers.
But no, we do have some space yet for more, which is great because we were starting to get maxed out.
So that's the thing about book collecting is they're attractive, you know. like, imagine someone who collects something like glass figurines or something.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are they're just going to sit on a shelf, and they bring them joy by looking at them.
They're nice.
They go up to their collection, or someone who maybe collects baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
They'll flip through their albums, and
mm-hmm.
they'll bring them joy.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at their collection. That's the same with books. We love to look at them. We love to read them.
Mm-hmm.
We love to loan them out. And
so they serve a purpose, or they serve different purposes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
even when they're not being read at a particular moment, they're still being enjoyed in some way, shape, or form.
Correct.
And they appear in all of our reels. So they get used.
We can't.
And then we have people commenting being like, not me trying to like zoom in and see what books you have featured, which like, we can do that on ones where we don't have like a ton of books featured, but when you did that other one in the kitchen the other night, that was like a ton of books.
That's
it would have taken me forever to type out all of the titles that were featured.
And one thing I want to touch on too is I know a lot of people, when they travel, they buy souvenirs. Like someone will go travel and they'll buy a souvenir spoon or shot glass or decorative glass plate or something. Mm-hmm. When we travel, one of the things we do is we'll scope out where's the local independent bookstore. We'll grab coffee from their local independent coffee shop, mm-hmm. and then we'll go to the bookstore. And that's kind of something we do when we travel. Mm-hmm. And as a souvenir, we'll bring back a book or 20 books. And what's nice is we'll look at that book and we'll always remember where we bought it. So a book is also our souvenir.
I'm going on a girls' trip next week with his mom and sisters. And so, yeah, before we got on here tonight, I was like, I Googled like what they might have for bookstores. We're going to Mackinac Island in Michigan. So if you've been there before, let me know. But yeah, I'm excited to check that out. But yeah, of course, they have like a cute little, it was like called the Island Bookstore or something like that. So I'll definitely be visiting. Because yeah, like Corey said, whenever we are going basically anywhere, even when we just went to Iowa to visit family in the spring, yeah, we visited a couple. Yeah, there were a couple different options. And yeah, came home with some good finds.
Yeah, so books are our souvenirs, and it's funny. You can pull a book off your shelf, and you're gonna know where you bought it, or like you're gonna remember where you were or what was going on when you bought the book, and that's what's so cool. And that's how people are with their collections, So it's a cool thing collecting, and I think if you're gonna collect something, I think books is probably a pretty cool thing to collect.
Mm-hmm. We're biased, but
yes, you could go to the library, which is great. Mm-hmm. But then you don't get those same memories, and you don't get to keep the book.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's not important to you or to somebody else in your life, and that's great. Yeah, something else is more of a priority, and like I'm thrilled if like you're reading. Period. Like it doesn't matter where it comes from or whether you get to keep it or whether you listen to it on audio. It's all reading, no matter how you look at it. Yes. It's just our own preference.
Yeah. Obviously reading is number one, but then your collection, mm-hmm. you're probably going to collect something. I want to hear what you collect. Mm-hmm. I used to collect houseplants, but I just stopped because that was getting out of control too. So
he's like literally running out of spaces for them.
I started giving them away.
They have to have light. They have to.
Houseplants, books are a lot easier to take care of.
They really are.
I did do a reel where I was watering my book. Well, not actually watering it, but I was trying to grow a book tree. Mm-hmm. But plants take a lot more effort. Books, they're pretty self-sufficient. You just need to dust them once in a while, talk to them. Mm-hmm. So
I think that's all.
I hope that
You have anything else to add, but
I hope that clears the air a little bit. It's not
that we necessarily needed to on this platform, but just something that we wanted to talk about, especially, I think it just stemmed from some of the comments, especially that we get on social media.
Well, I mean, it was a lot. There's a lot of comments.
Of like, why don't you, or I think there was one where he was, this is how I pick out my next read. And I was like, I stare at my shelf for a really long time. And then I go to the bookstore, or, something like that. Yeah. And clearly, again, we do not visit the bookstore every single day, even though it might appear that way with the reels that we make, but it's all a joke. We read the books that we buy, maybe not immediately. So yeah, it's not like we necessarily have to explain ourselves, but just wanted to share why it's important to us. I don't know.
Yeah. And we just want to share our collection. I mean, people love to talk about their collection. We love to talk about books, obviously. And we're just, we like to share our passion with everyone. So please share what you collect. I love to hear it. Share what you're reading, or share your book total. Do you have yourself a home library of 1,000 or more books? If you do,
curious.
That is amazing. So this is our episode 10 of this. We're on our mission to get 1,000 subscribers. Today, I just checked, we're at 869. So we're growing pretty quickly, and people are watching the videos. So if you want to go back and watch all 10 episodes in a row, I would love you forever.
Grab yourself a snack and a beverage and settle in.
Settle in. This one's over 20 minutes already. But so episode 11, we did have, what were we going to talk about next episode?
I don't remember.
It'll be a surprise then.
Yeah, it's like you were all about this episode with the...
Yes. But we'll share we'll get you back updated on how we're doing on our current reads, what we're going to start reading next. And just talk about books. Maybe Noam will make an appearance in it next time. Maybe there'll be a new figurine. I mean, I found one of our daughter's Barbies chilling on the ground, but it was naked, so I couldn't, but I didn't want to show it.
Well, we hope that you have a great rest of your, I guess it'll be day by the time this gets posted.
Yep. So we're filming this today. It's Tuesday. We'll post on Wednesday. We'll film the next one Friday night.
Friday, I don't know. I was thinking we probably can't have book club on Friday night. So speaking of books,
book club.
I'm messing up our schedule a little bit, but we will get a new episode posted as soon as possible. Let's just put it that way, because we're trying to post a little more frequently in June.
Maybe we got to film Thursday night.
So
all right. Well, thank you for watching. We love you. Please comment and spam that like button. Go.